Alright, we are back. Unfortunately, Risa ended up missing out on her episode a little bit because I didn't realize that I switched to block partway through and he just took control for the entire episode. But I guess that just sucks for Risa because now we're on Grok's episode. But we should have everything we need to get in here. We should have the bell, and it did actually let us in. We didn't even have to use the item or anything. But now we're going to get to explore this place, which is pretty sick. I assume there's going to be a lot of floors to this place, but who knows. And there is chests hidden throughout it. I was going to say it's interesting that they put the exit, or rather the next floor, right next to the entrance. But it looks like we're going to have to actually go in and explore a bunch of stuff and get to the center of probably every floor if we want to actually get our rewards. But for the most part, I think we should be able to auto-fight these enemies. I don't imagine... Yeah, were-tigers are not that strong. I feel like we fought these at some point before, but I don't even remember when. But nonetheless, I've seen them a long time ago, so they must not be that strong. I'm pretty sure the bestiary still has a lot of empty slots in it, though. So there's probably going to be still a lot of very strong enemies to encounter. What item did we just get? Did that say, like, a healing helm or something? A helm that casts heal when used. What? Interesting. I guess we can cast heal? I wonder if we can equip that to Grok and that'll, like, be a better helmet for him. Nope. You can't use it. It's just a random helmet that casts heal. Oh, actually, that's really strong. Obviously, the diamond helm is better, and we can just use the staff or use the healing helm from our inventory to cast the spell. So there's not really any point to equipping it. But that's pretty cool, I guess, that we have it. Now we can heal with multiple people, too, which is always good. Vorpal Sword. Interesting. What does that do? I feel like we're going to get a lot of cool stuff in here, because I think we're approaching the end of the game. A very sharp crescent blade. Okay, nothing special. But maybe it's better than Defender. Definitely way worse than Defender, which is fine. But we're not going to be using it on anyone, unfortunately. But that's fine. We can still sell it for some money. And now we're probably going to have to manually attack the Saber-tooth. Because while we can probably auto-fight most of the stuff, I don't want to over-auto-fight and then end up screwing us over because there's a big strong enemy and we just assume that we can kill him. Especially if he's in the back. Because obviously we attack from, like, top front down and then the back row last, of course. So we definitely need to be extra careful for big strong enemies in the back because auto fighting will screw us over unless they can die in one hit to the lightning, in which case we probably wouldn't need to worry about it. But we got a shield that guards against stone and poison, which sounds pretty good, but it's probably worse than the diamond shield. Actually, it's the same. Same shield, but with better substats. So we're definitely going to be using that. Nobody else can use any other shield, so we don't have to switch anything out. But that's actually great. Now we don't have to worry about block turning to stone anymore, which is going to be nice. These guys look goofy as hell, but I definitely vibe with them. They're like... I assume they're supposed to be like Egyptian cats of some sort. Oh wow, they took a lot of lightning damage. I wonder if they're considered... like, I wonder if mechanical enemies also take extra... Oh gosh, I'm super glad I got that stone resistance. But I wonder if stone enemies are considered, or rather electrical enemies, like, you know, enemies made out of components or like robots or something like that. I wonder if they are considered extra weak to lightning, because it can, like, short-circuit them or something? Master, we have waited so long. Okay. These don't do anything. I thought those would, like, have text on them or teleport me somewhere or something, but nope. Oh, wow, these guys shoot lasers. That's pretty cool. They don't do much of any damage, though. I imagine if they attacked Grok or Yella, they'd probably do maybe like 20 or 30. But even that's not too much. We can heal that in one go with a healing spell. I'm super lost. I've walked into this little circle cul-de-sac thing in here, and I'm getting mixed around. I'm gonna end up walking in circles in here for a while, but that's fine, because we do still have the heal spell for free that we can cast. 2 in a row, apparently. Now, I just feel like the heal spell is so incredibly powerful, especially now that we have the heal helm. We really don't have to worry about dying, like, at all. But it's I don't know, I'm kind of conflicted, because while we could use the heal helm, in case we're in a precarious situation, if we do opt for the heal helm, we're gonna end up losing a lot of our DPS from Block Risa and Yella, which could potentially cause the fight that, in the case that we're struggling against it, it could cause it to drag on, which obviously is bad. But I don't know, if we could somehow manage to heal faster or just as fast as we're taking damage, it would be useful. But I feel like in most circumstances, if we're needing to heal twice in one fight, we're probably at the point where we need to just start casting better healing spells anyways, and focusing all of our actual characters on DPS or defense spells. So if that case arises, it probably will. We're probably going to end up fighting the boss of whatever the last crystal is, probably like a sky crystal or something like that. Whatever that enemy is probably going to be strong enough where we're not going to want to be wasting our DPS or wasting our healing, and we're just going to want to focus entirely on that, because the longer we drag on those fights, the more we're just going to end up dying. But I don't know, we'll have to see. These guys are considered undead, right? I'm curious. I'm going to defend with our top 2. I'm going to use the healing staff with Grok, and Yella, I'm going to have use the light axe. And I'm pretty sure we tested this in the last dungeon or the last couple episodes, but I don't actually remember how strong it was. Okay, yeah. It's incredibly strong. And at this point, we need a lot of XP, by the way, to level up. I just looked at how much XP we need. I haven't really been paying much attention to it, but we need, like, upwards of 150,000 XP per character, which is insane. But we're pretty high level. I feel like I haven't really had to think about it much, which obviously is partly due to us just playing in the newer version. So obviously we've been getting XP at a faster rate. But I personally don't think it takes away anything from the game. I feel like I'm still getting the authentic experience. I should look around where I'm going, by the way, because I am super lost. I'm just running in circles and hoping that I eventually run into the door, but it is working out pretty well so far. We're cruising through the dungeon, a little slower than usual, but we're still making good progress. And we're not taking too much damage to these enemies as well, especially with the new items that we keep collecting. The items we're getting in terms of like defense for block and even the offensive stuff have just been really, really good. Or the things that use spells. Thor's hammer has gotta be casting lightning, right? You know what? If it's a hammer, I wonder if Grok could use that actually. A hammer that casts Thundara when used. Is that the same as the gloves? Thundara. It is the same as the gloves. But I wonder if Grok can equip that. He can! It's a great upgrade for him. 6 more attack and 4 more accuracy. That's actually huge. Okay, that's so good. And now we've got 2 lightning spells that we could cast. And we're probably... Oh, you know what? Because I have equipped a Grok, we probably can't cast it unless we use Grok to cast it. Which I obviously don't want to do because Grok is the best healer. I was going to say that we could use 2 lightning instead of a lightning and a fire spell. Because obviously we have that free fire spell now. But Obviously, the lightning typically does better, we've found. That said, like I said, I don't want to spend my healing and waste my healing spells if, you know what I'm saying. It's not worth it. It's not worth switching out the healing for the lightning magic. We did get some cool items, though. Dragon Mail. Mail fashioned from dragon scales that guards against fire and ice. That's really good. And Sunblade. A sword that is effective against the undead. Okay. Could be useful if it has good stats. Probably not going to be better than what we already have because it's special against undead, but it is actually better, but it's -2 accuracy. Which, I mean, at the end of the day, we already have 78 accuracy. I feel like that's fine. We can equip that. And you can get the Defender! Okay, that's actually really good. That's a great switch. And then we can switch to Dragon Mail, which should be the same. Kind of like the Aiga Shield. It's the same as the Diamond, but it's got better substats. So we're definitely going to be equipping that. Other than that, I don't think we have anything else unique that we got. Then we can just run out of here. Make it to the next floor. This place looks sick, by the way. I gotta throw that out there. I'm gonna test his new attack on the King Mummy and see how well he does since he's actually using an undead weapon. Yeah, almost 500 damage in one hit is crazy. It's not really gonna be of much use to us because how often are we fighting super strong undead enemies? And I feel like these guys look strong, actually. I'm going to split up my damage and try and think for a little bit here. But like I said, I feel like I've said this before. Oh wow, they do not do much damage. But we rarely encounter an undead enemy or an enemy of a specific type in general that's strong enough that we need to do, like, extra ice damage, or extra fire damage, or extra undead damage. I feel like it just almost never comes up. And if it does, we can just use AoE attacks to lower them to the amount of HP that a normal enemy would be one-shottable anyways. And then we could just attack them after that and deal damage to everyone at once while we're doing it. Which is obviously way more effective. I feel like the AoE spells are just significantly better than anything else in this game, to be honest. Unless we're going against one specific enemy. But, like I said, the odds that we go against a specific enemy of a specific type while we have the specific weapon for that specific enemy, it's just so rare that it feels like I can just completely neglect those weapons and their buffs and just focus on whatever does the most damage because it's going to be the most versatile. In other games, I feel like it's more important because you could collect more weapons at like the highest level probably, but in this game we're just getting stronger at such a fast pace and getting so much new gear that it just doesn't matter. Anyways, our friend left on a journey to the west. He took the warp cube and went to see our master. Don't worry bro, I already got the warp cube. I already got it. So apparently I was probably supposed to decipher that, go to the east, get the bell, come here, and then go get the warp cube? Or maybe it's just telling me that in case I haven't gotten it yet. Actually, that's probably what it was. It's probably just giving me hints in case I haven't gotten to it yet. Another dragon, by the way, which is terrifying because the last dragons we encountered did a lot of damage, and he did 54 damage to block, our tankiest unit. So we do need to be very careful with him because there's a very high chance that when we fight one of those, if they end up attacking Yella or Grok or even Risa, they could be doing a lot of damage. Because 70 damage to block probably equivalates to like 200 to Yella. So we need to be very cautious, especially if we get multiple of those guys. We could end up getting blasted. Use the warp cube to travel beyond the sky. It will take you to the flying fortress. Okay. Oh, we didn't even have to use it. I keep expecting to, like, go to these special locations and have to pull out items from my inventory, but then it just teleports us immediately. Which, I mean, hey, I won't complain about. Alright, looks like we got chests to the left, chests to the right. one chest below and the exit is north. So I guess we go right first and then work our way around. Ooh, Black Knights. These guys look strong. But we'll see. They did take 2 strong hits to kill, but maybe they'll be weak to thunder because they're metallic. Unfortunately, they didn't take extra damage to lightning. But for some reason, none of them attacked last turn, which was peculiar. They seem to have an amount of armor piercing because, oh, maybe they just got lucky, but when they hit block, they hit him for 17, which, you know, compared to Risa, which they did like 50, 17's quite high because he's got a lot more defense than Risa, obviously. So they must have some degree of armor piercing. Or again, maybe they just got lucky. I don't know. Sometimes when my enemies are too strong for me, Grok and Yella just do no damage. But then once every blue moon, they'll hit for like 50. So I don't know. Maybe they just got lucky. I'm pretty sure we already have protect rings on everyone. We do. And we already have a healing helm. So we don't need to look at that. Everything is pretty much the same as what we've already got for now. And we should be good to just continue on. So far, nothing unbeatable. Fortunately, the Black Knights aren't too strong. So even if they hit Block and Risa, or rather Grok and Yella, I said literally the 2 wrong characters. Ooh, we got more slimes. But anyways, even if they do hit our weakest units, we're typically fine. I'm assuming because we're doing so little damage, these guys are going to be weak to energy, or rather magic. It looks like they're not. It seems like they're just pretty high defense and resistant to pretty much everything. But we're still doing decent damage, and sometimes we are getting lucky and hitting like 150, which does pretty much instantly either kill them or knock them down to 1 HP, which is good. But most of the enemies here are just getting walled. Like the Medusas are getting destroyed. The Black Knights are pretty strong, but not strong enough to pose any kind of real threat. So far, we got a Razor, which is a saber that casts Scourge when used. What is Scourge? Does anyone have Scourge? It doesn't look like it. Oh, we do actually. Instantly kills all enemies. Okay, that's actually really good, especially for enemies that we're pretty high level compared to. I'm assuming it's based on our level compared to theirs. Or maybe it's based on the caster's magic level. Like for instance, Yellow would do great, Grok would do pretty good, and Risa would do pretty good, but Block would probably do pretty bad, because he's just not a very magical character. But I'm not sure. It might also be good as just a regular weapon. So let's see. Where is it? It was Razor? Okay, it's not very good actually. Unless we can use it on one of these two, which we cannot. I wonder if maybe it would be good to use with Risa. Let's test it out. I'm really not sure. I'm always conflicted about these spells that work sometimes and don't work others. But let's see. It worked on one, which is nice. And of course the other one got off scot-free. I feel like it's still not really worth it. Because if I really am that worried about that many enemies, I could really probably just use two Thundara items. That said, if there's ever like a very strong enemy that could survive multiple Thundaras and there's like 9 of them, then it could be useful. And actually it might be useful against these guys, because these guys are so tanky. So I guess I'll use it for either if there's really tanky enemies and there's a lot of them, or I'll use it for just really tanky enemies that I know are going to survive for multiple turns. Like these slimes that are resistant to magic and physical. But other than that, we're probably not going to be using it much. You can't hold any more? Okay, that's potions. I was like, I have a max inventory space? I'm gonna have to start going back to town and selling stuff? But no, that was because I had 99 potions, so we don't have to worry about a max inventory space. I was about to be, unironically, like, stressing, because I hate it when I run out of inventory space. I'm sure you've probably heard of Pokemon Go, the game where you walk around and catch Pokemon in real life. It is not a secret. Everyone knows about it. But I, low-key, kind of hate that game. And it's not because it's bad. I actually played it for quite a while, and I really enjoyed it. But the longer you play it, the less I like it. Because you start to get so many Pokemon and so many items in your bag that the game tells you that you can't have anymore. Because you only get like 400 something, 300, 200 something slots for Pokemon at the start, and you can like play the game to unlock more by spending coins that you get by, you know, defending like bases or whatever with your Pokemon, and you pass back and forth with players. But it's a really just a pain to grind those coins, especially if you're not in like an area where you have a lot of those, or you have people around you that are willing to like trade back and forth to like grind coins with you that are on other teams. And so basically you're forced to just never get what you want, because I've got a bunch of Pokemon that I want to keep. I don't want to start sending all my Pokemon off to the ranch to get put down. I want to keep them all. But I don't have space. And so instead of getting rid of all my Pokemon, and instead of catching new cool Pokemon, I just stopped playing the game. I literally just stopped playing the game because, like, what the hell? I want to have my cake and eat it too. And, you know, in some cases it's like, you know, you don't always get to have your cake and eat it too. But if I'm playing games, I want to be playing games for fun. And if the whole time I'm playing games I'm just sad because I'm murdering my Pokemon and sending them to the ranch, like, what's even the point? What's even the point? I just want to have fun, bro. And that's my Pokemon Go rant. I don't vibe with it. I don't like gacha games. I don't like games that make you pay for extra slots. I just want to have fun, and I don't want to have to buy a bunch of microtransactions to keep playing my game. I just want to vibe. And that's why I like a lot of older games like Final Fantasy. These guys are probably going to be resistant to lightning, by the way, if I had to guess. Oh, I guess it does not matter. They do seem to be pretty resistant. He only took 80 damage, and he's taking a lot of physical damage, but doesn't really matter. Anyways, I like older games like this because they don't have microtransactions. Which, I mean, obviously everyone can agree is good. But, like, it just sucks how many games are very clearly just there to suck your wallet dry. And, like, I've played Genshin Impact for a long time. Or at least I did play Genshin Impact for a long time, and I quite liked it. But, like, it's not even that greedy. Like, I was free to play. I did not spend money on polls to get these characters or anything, and I had a bunch of 5-star characters, and I actually really liked that. I really appreciated that. But it is evil in a wholly different way. And the way that it is that it's got these like artifacts, and basically they've got main stats and substats. And in order to build your characters, you want all the correct stats. And I know a lot of games have these. Like, I'm pretty sure like games like Final Fantasy XIV and Destiny and stuff like that are like that. Hold on, what is this? I just got a rock? Oh, adamantite! I can go make that sword! That's actually huge. Do I turn around and make that? Probably not. I'm going to finish this dungeon and then I can go and do that afterwards. But anyways, there's plenty of games where you just throw yourself at a dungeon over and over and over and over and over and pray for the best stats on your weapon, and finally you get it where you actually have all the stats you want and you can finally use your character to their fullest potential and do a ton of damage and feel like the greatest player or whatever. But it's just not worth my time. I feel like it's just not worth it. And I feel like the only reason these games are made like this is because they want you to invest as much time as possible. They want you to stay on your game and stay stalled on that one specific thing for as long as possible so that you will never stop playing their game. And it's just so like aggressive to the player base, and I really hate that. And that's why I stopped playing that game, because I got a character. Oh, is this better than what I have? Question mark? I've got a diamond helm, mithril helm. It's actually worse. Mithril is worse than diamond. Interesting. That's so weird. But anyways, back to my story. I didn't have too many problems, and I don't know if I just got incredibly unlucky or something, but I got this water character. I'm blanking on her name now because it's been so long since I played, but I believe she's got red hair, and she's supposed to be used for like bloom comms, which is like a combination or whatever, but I wanted to build her for water DPS, where she would just do pure water damage DPS. Also, what in the world is that spell? Maybe, oh, that might have been mute, so she couldn't have cast spells. I've never seen that before, but she had a little blank speech bubble, so I'm assuming that's silence or mute or whatever it was called. But we need to be careful, because if that spell ends up hitting Grok, we could actually be in a lot of trouble. But yeah, I got this character. They were a water character, and I wanted to build them for water DPS because hell yeah, water DPS. And I, unironically, grinded the same artifact set for, I think, 3 days. And the way the game works is that the way it keeps you there is that not only do you have to grind for these artifact sets for a million years, but you also only get a certain amount of attempts per day. You get, like, drip fed this material called a resin, and it is spent in order to do these dungeons. And so you're kind of just throwing yourself at a wall forever. Looks like I don't have to go into these two bottom rooms, by the way. But you're kind of throwing yourself at a wall forever. And I unironically played this game and grinded the same artifact for, I think, I could be wrong about this, but I think it was 6 months. It was at least 3 months that I was grinding the same artifact over and over and over. And I was playing the events and stuff of the game, which, you know, some are better than others. Most of them are kind of mid. From this observation window, you can look out on the entire world. Okay. But I grinded this, and I grinded this, and I grinded this, and I never got... Oh god, this is terrifying. But I never got great artifacts. I got some pretty decent ones. Like, it's not like I had all bad stuff. I had one pretty good artifact, and like 4 were okay at best. But like, I've invested so much time grinding these artifacts for this character, and I'm just getting the shaft, bruh. And it's like, it is just genuinely not worth my time and effort to do all this nonsense. I'd rather just stop playing that game, and instead of playing this game that's taking up my time day in and day out, it's taking up my precious minutes, I could be playing a game like this, where I'm actually making progress and seeing the story and liking my characters and not having to worry about all this incessant grinding. Like, I just hate that kind of game. But back to this actual game that is fun. We got a protect cloak, a large cloak worn over armor. It does have a shield logo, so I'm assuming that is a shield. I'm obviously not going to give it to him. I can give it to him, but it's obviously worse than the Ica shield. The question is, do I want to use it on Risa? Or is this viable to be used on Grok? Or, better yet, Yella? And I think I am going to need to use it on Yella, because Yella is notorious for taking the most damage. So I'm going to have to use it on Yella. I wish that I had more, because obviously it's better than the Buckler. Obviously it's better than nothing. But we're going to have to put it on Yella for now. And I just think they need it the most. Oh my god, the Vampire Lord. It really wasn't a boss after all. It's just some guy. But yeah, Yella definitely needs the most. They definitely get blasted the most by spells, especially because they have the least amount of HP. The observation window looks out upon the world. The four forces of fire, earth, water, and wind appear as mist converging on a single point. A point at the center of the four altars. This must be the location of the Chaos Shrine. Is it going to take me back to the starting shrine? It is. So, two things to observe here. First of all, it is going to take me back to that first little fight area that I ever fought with the vampires, which I'm not surprised about, because if we go to the map, I can't look now actually because I'm inside a dungeon, but if you go to the map, that is like the only spot on the entire map where it says that I'm missing chests. And we literally went back there and we checked the four corners and we got 2 chests from that area, I believe. I think it was 2. And I was satisfied with that, but then I looked back later and it said that I was still missing stuff. Sasuke's blade? What? Naruto? Confused? Surely Sasuke's blade uses dark magic. I mean, come on. Right? It's... Oh, Block can't even use Sasuke's blade. That's crazy. Can nobody use Sasuke's blade? What? Maybe Yella? It's probably for one of the characters that I didn't pick. It's probably for, like, the ninja. Because, of course, Sasuke, ninja, dark magic. But I'm willing to bet that we can actually cast magic with that. A small katana used by ninja. Huh. I cannot cast dark magic with that. I thought for sure I'd be able to blind enemies with Sasuke's blade, but I guess not. Hit him with the genjutsu. Oh, this guy does a lot more damage. I need to be careful with this guy. Okay. Soldiers, red version of the old guy. Don't tread lightly. They actually do quite decent damage. 75 damage to block is nothing to scoff at. That is a lot of damage. And I assume they're probably going to show up a lot now that we're on floor 4. This place looks pretty huge. Looks like the exit is in the top left. So we can just go straight up and left. And we should be able to hit it. Air elementals do decent damage. But I'm not too worried about it. As long as they're focusing on block, we should be able to heal faster than we're taking damage. And I'm actually hoping that we don't kill them all too fast, because I do want to get some more heals off on block before they all die. Come on, let's go! Okay, now we're pretty close to max HP on block. We were able to recover what that last enemy did. And everyone else, I'm pretty sure, is at max HP too, so we don't have to worry about them. And I'm assuming after this big open space, we're probably going to be... Oh my god, he's healing himself. That's crazy. Dispel? What? I wonder if that would dispel any, like, defensive or offensive spells that we have. Obviously, I didn't have anything, so it seemed to do nothing. But I'm willing to bet that that would dispel any magic that I've cast on myself. And this definitely looks like the end. Looks like we go straight up and hit the crystal, yeah. And this is the final crystal. Which means I'm thinking we're pretty much at the end of the game here. Once we hit this last crystal, it's probably one more dungeon, and then we're done. Which is kind of crazy. I feel like we've blitzed through the end of this game so fast. The start was a lot harder than the end, but I also feel like that's just because I'm a little bit slow. Obviously, getting more XP in this game has helped, but even in like every other game I've ever played, Just the fact that I'm so, like, meticulous and I'll go and backtrack for, like, one tiny little piece of thing that I missed, or I'll explore every single inch of everything before I move on, I feel like that has just caused me to level up at quite a fast pace. Because by the time I'm getting to these dungeons, I've done literally everything else I possibly can do. At least everything I know of. I'm sure there's certain things I've missed, and someone said in the comments that I missed some, or not necessarily missed, but I haven't encountered a secret shop yet. And I'm not sure what that shop was. Maybe they were talking about the desert shop, because they did say it before that episode went up. But I'm not sure. I don't think there was any level 8 spells there. But somewhere there should be a spell that I have not acquired yet. The Lick, maybe it means Lich? The Lich, Marileth, the Kraken. You've defeated 3 fiends and reached my lofty perch. I really should have healed with potions before I fought this, by the way, but it is what it is. I'm sure we'll manage. Oh god, it's a dragon. Of all the enemies, it had to be the one enemy that just does a bajillion damage. But as far as we've gone so far, every dragon, while it is very strong and it does have lots of AoE problematic spells, they usually don't have that much HP. And he's green, which means he's probably going to be healing, but it's also possible that he is considered like a zombie dragon or something. We'll have to see based on his name. But if he is, we are holding a sword that does extra undead damage, and we can use our undead magic, which should do a lot of damage. If he's actually a zombie, but he's probably not, let's be real. All the better. May the image of Tiamat, the Fiend of Wind, be the last to burn in your eyes. He's definitely not a zombie. No, he's just a cool dragon. Which is fine. Hopefully we can beat him. I'm not sure what is optimal here, but I'm just going to cast Protect on block, because he's probably going to take the most damage. I am going to cast Healing Staff for now, and just see what happens. And as for you, you could just cast your strongest Blizzaga magic? Maybe Thunder? I'm going to try Blizzaga for now, because I imagine Lightning's not going to be super strong against Wind, or Flying or whatever, but we'll have to see. He only did 28 damage to block, which is actually quite low, which is a great sign. And Blizzaga did 156, which isn't bad by any means, but it's also not great. I'm going to have you use Protect on yourself, because you're second most likely to get hit, obviously. Do we use Healing Staff? Is everyone good? No, we do need to use Healing Staff, because Risa and Block are both low enough to need some heals. And then we'll try Thundaga and see if it does more than 156. Block isn't doing too much damage. I am glad I used Heal, because he just did AoE magic. And it didn't do too much. Especially once we get Protect out, it's going to be a lot better for us. Oh, and I'm remembering I should be using my AoE protection spell. I haven't been doing that. Okay, so again, we're going to use Protect. This time on Grok. And you are going to use Protera and protect everyone. We are going to go back to Blizzaga, because I was doing a little bit more damage. And hopefully he doesn't do AoE. Hopefully he attacks Block. He did, which is absolutely amazing. We particularly need to protect Risa. Risa is definitely the lowest right now. And I think I'm probably going to just use a pretty good healing spell, just for the purposes of Risa. Actually, you know what? I'm going to switch Risa to physical attack. And I'm going to use a individual heal spell. Actually, I'm not. Healing Staff is just going to heal her more than any individual healing spell I have, besides the max HP one. And she really does not need the max HP one, let's be real. Is there anything else I should be using? I could use Haste to buff Risa and Block. But I don't know if it's worth it overall. I guess I'll use it, just because we'll probably end up doing more damage overall, but I'm really not sure. Unfortunately, he did attack Risa once more, which is definitely suboptimal. But we should be fine. Let's see, what status effects do we have? I can't tell. Have I used Protect? Okay, I have not used Protect on Yell yet, so I am going to do that. You can use Healing Staff again. And you can use Haste on Risa? Yeah, he can use Haste on Risa. And at this point, everyone's pretty protected. We're usually healing for more than the damage he's doing, which is good. And now we can go back to just focusing on... Oh, he got the haste off! He actually did damage twice. I've never seen that before. Oh no! I'm stupid! I accidentally turned on auto attack. I'm so dumb. I thought he was doing double attacks. I just accidentally had on auto attack. That's crazy. Now, Risa did actually do low damage. So I'm gonna try Firaga and see if this does anything decent. But if it doesn't, then we're gonna go back to physical. But she only did like what? Like 70-ish damage with the physical attack, which is obviously not great. So we'll have to see her magic with fire in particular. 64. So I am going to have her... Oh, actually, I wonder if I could have her use maybe... Maybe the Mage's Staff? Or maybe the Gauntlets are probably good. Let's see if he's weak to lightning. He didn't seem weak to lightning. Ooh, that's dangerous. I'm going to need to do some big heals after this. We are fine. I don't think Risa's one-hittable, but she's definitely in a precarious situation, and I want to get her out of that as fast as possible. Her lightning item definitely was weaker than her regular attack, so we are going to go back to regular attacks, and then we're going to cast Healara? Is that the one that we're using for free? No, it casts Heal, which is 2 levels lower than Healara, so Healara should be good enough. We could use Healaga, but I don't think we really need it right now. I think Healara is going to be plenty, and then we just continue on with Blizzard, or Blizzara, or whatever it's called. We did get the Healara off before he attacked, which is very nice. And that did help heal Risa a lot. Everyone else is max HP, which is really good. So we can go back to using the item and conserving our mana. But we actually killed him before we even had to worry about that, which is insane. We are incredibly strong. And using all those protect spells at the start of every battle is definitely helping a lot. It will help even more if I can just remember to cast Protera at the start, because I always forget that I need to cast Protera with Yella. But we can remember that for the final fight, and hopefully we can beat the final fight. We're pretty much crushing everything at this point. This is the Altar of Wind, from which the power of wind flows forth. Okay, huge. Now we can get out of here. And I'm pretty sure all we have left is the final dungeon. But I guess I'll fly back to the starting town and go chill, go take a nap. Maybe, I mean, we don't even need to stock up or anything. All of our materials, we've already got 99 potions, I'm pretty sure. We've never used a high potion. We've never used Phoenix Down, so we're still pretty much playing the original game, just with a less grindy system, which is nice. So at this point, I think we just go fight the boss, and that might just be the end of the game. Now, we might come back after that and just wrap up, get, the rest of the achievements, find any missing areas we didn't find, open any chests we might have missed, find whatever that secret shop is, and do that stuff. And then we're done. I can just give my final verdict on what my thoughts are on the game. And I guess that'll be the end of the series, but next episode, I think we'll be fighting the final boss. And you'll have to wait to see until then. But I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.